Welcome back to another edition of the Horsemen Pro Football Talk podcast. I am Brad.
This is Zach.
And I'm Hefe.
So this is the Week 8 preview. And if you're watching this, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you never miss an episode or your chance at a jersey giveaway. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, head on over to YouTube and help us out. We appreciate the support. Let's get right into it. This week, game one, Falcons at the Panthers. You know, Teddy Bridgewater is obviously making a name for himself, and the Panthers are making a case in the NFC South. The Falcons are still mad that Todd Gurley scored a touchdown. Two teams headed in two totally different directions. I'm going to go with the Panthers.
Yeah, I agree. They won the first meeting 23-16 in Atlanta. They're favored by 3 at home. I think they'll win. I think they'll win this one as well.
Yeah, it's pretty much where my head is at. They already played this year, and they won that game. And if anything, the Panthers are playing better right now than they were then. The only real threat to the Panthers here is going to be Todd Gurley in the run game and what is he able to do, because ever since K'Wan Short went out, they've been pretty bad in the run game. So maybe Todd Gurley gets it going in this game and makes it interesting, but Panthers should win this game.
Yeah, they got to be careful because that's the kind of guy that accidentally scores touchdowns. So just think what he can do when he tries to score a touchdown.
No kidding.
All right, we are all three in agreement. We are taking the Panthers. Next up, Patriots and the Bills. Bill at the Bills. See what I did there?
I see.
Yeah, all right. Jeez. Never mind. What a tough crowd. Anyway, the Bills are struggling. Both Bill and the Bills. See what I did there? All right, enough of that. I wish I could say some stupid stuff like Bills above defense and blah blah blah, but I can't. The Patriots are down. Bills above's tired, and I'm going with the Bills.
Yeah, I feel a little nervous about this game. Buffalo struggled recently, and normally I would think the Patriots would be able to capitalize on that. But honestly, I think I'm just kind of in denial, and I'm having a hard time believing that the Patriots aren't the Patriots anymore. The Bills are 3.5-point favorites. I have them covering.
Yeah, I think the Bills should be able to win this game. Like you mentioned, Zach, it's been tough the last couple weeks for the Bills. So you don't know which team you're getting, but the Patriots are vulnerable in the run game. And this is the Bills team that needs to get going in the run game. So maybe this is a game where they kind of use Zach Moss a little more. This is the game they throw the rookie in there, let him go against the Patriots and eat up in the run game. And I mean, New England under Bill Belichick generally always struggles against mobile quarterbacks anyways. So whichever way you slice it up, I think the Bills should be able to win this game.
All right. We are all three in agreement that we are taking the Bills, the Buffalo Bills, not the other Bills. I told you I'd stop. I'll stop now. All right. Titans at Bengals. This game could be mildly interesting. But as bad as the Titans defense is, and as explosive as the Bengals offense can be at times, and with what Joe Burrow's doing, the Titans offense is just way better than anything on Cincinnati, and it might be another squeaky win over a squeak out win over a crappy team, but the Titans should win this one.
Yeah, the Bengals have the 5th worst rushing defense in terms of yardage in the league. So good luck stopping Derrick Henry. Tennessee's favored by 6.5. They'll cover and move on to 6-1.
Yes, especially because on Wednesday, the Bengals traded Carlos Dunlap to the Seahawks. So, any kind of run support or pass rush that they might have gotten from him is not going to be there against Derrick Henry. And so this game might get ugly, but, the Bengals and Joe Burrow have made a way of making some games interesting. So it'll be fun to see what happens in this one.
All right, but we're all three taking the Titans. All right, next up, Raiders at Browns. The AFC is both divisions are really starting to sort themselves out. And this game is going to be another one of those, in my opinion. And I was looking at Hefe's rankings, And what drew me to the rankings was this is one of the games that, as I was looking at them and thought, we're going to see who has a potential, who is moving in the right direction between these two teams and headed into the second half of the season. Both of these teams show promise, and then they turn right around, and then they don't, and you don't know what to expect. The Browns are at home. It's going to be cold and rainy. I think it's going to be in the 40s and rainy. If that ends up playing a part in this, I don't know. All in all, I have to go with Chucky. I think the Raiders are actually moving in the right direction, and the Browns are just kind of floundering in their talent.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with you here. Cleveland's favored by only 2.5 points at home. The Browns are 5-2 on the year, but really the only quality team that they have beaten this year has been the Colts. Las Vegas, on the other hand, they're 3-3, but their 3 wins were against Carolina, New Orleans, and Kansas City, and their 3 losses were against New England in New England, Buffalo, and Tampa Bay. So I don't think the records actually show how good these teams are. I think the Browns are a little overhyped, and I think the Raiders are underhyped. So I think that the Browns are going to lose this one, and the Raiders are going to come on top here.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same line of thinking there because I think this is going to be more of a get right game for Josh Jacobs. The Browns, you can run on the Browns, and Josh Jacobs has had a couple weeks against some tough opponents, some really good run defenses, and I think they're going to try to make a point to get him going in this game. Or at least I hope so, because I think that's going to be the recipe to win in this one. Obviously the Browns are coming into this one without Odell Beckham Jr. Rashard Higgins looks like he's going to take his place, and he's decent. But I mean, without OBJ and without Nick Chubb, I mean, pieces are starting to fall off. So I mean, I got to go with the Raiders here.
Okay, we all three agree on this one. We're all three taking the Raiders. All right, next up, Colts at the Lions. This game is dangerous, boys. My confidence is down in what the Colts are capable of. It's not out, but it's down. My confidence is up in what the Lions are capable of. I'm not convinced, but I'm paying attention. This game is in Detroit, which, isn't that big of a deal. It's a 4 to 5 hour trip, and the game's indoors. Logic is a tie, but my emotions give the Colts a push. I got to go with the Colts.
Yeah, I feel the same way you do. I kind of have this weird gut feeling about this game, which I don't want to have, especially because Brian's a Lions fan. I have to listen to that all week. But Michael Pittman's should be returning to the lineup to help give Phillip Rivers a little bit of offensive help. But more importantly, the heart and soul of this top-ranked Indy defense, Darius Leonard, should be back this week. I think that spells bad news for Matt Stafford and the Detroit Lions. We're only favored by 2.5 against Detroit, but I think we're going to come out on top with the last-minute field goal.
I don't think it's really going to even be that close. I think Darius Leonard coming back into the lineup and giving those guys that kind of energy that he brings, I think that's going to juice everything up. I think on offense and defense, the Colts are going to be able to do what they want. Coming off a bye, I really trust what Frank Reich wants to do with the game plan. If you give him and his coaches 2 weeks to plan, they can beat pretty much anybody in the league, in my opinion. And Detroit has a way of making you think they're going to win games, and then they lose them. So I got to go with the Colts here.
Okay, we all three agree. We're going to go with the Colts, and I'm going to bring the Colts back up in a conversation. I won't give it away. I'm going to bring them back up here in a minute. So, all right, Vikings at the Packers. One of the things that I do outside of here is I lecture a lot. I teach and I lecture a lot about owning it, about stepping up and changing your awareness and your perception and owning your behavior and your thought process and making steps in the right decisions. So this game right here reminds me of how terribly wrong I was in the off season about how good the Vikings were going to be. Jiminy Christmas, I haven't been that wrong about something in so long I can't even remember. It makes me laugh after I finish crying, to be honest. And I still stand by it. On paper, the Vikings should be good, but they are just trash. I don't know what is going on. I don't even want to begin. It doesn't matter. The Packers should own this one.
Yeah, they're favored by 7 at Lambeau. They'll beat the Vikings. They'll cover the spread and move on to 6-1.
Yeah, it's just pretty much that simple. You know, they played week one, and since then, I mean, the Packers and the Vikings have gone in totally different directions. Vikings gave away Yannick Ngakoue. This one really shouldn't even be close. This is definitely a Packers win.
All right, we all three agree again. Damn, I don't know how we're going to move up, Hefe.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe we should do the show. Gosh, there's no way to do this. I was going to say to pick without Zach hearing who we pick, so we can get an advantage. But all right, next up, the jet crashes at the Chiefs. Look, 1.16% of delusional Jet fans on ESPN picked the Jets this week. Dude, how is there anybody? The only people who should pick the Jets are people who don't speak English and they don't know what they're doing. They're just clicking buttons and trying to get out of the thing and accidentally click the Jets. That is the Jets. What is the spread here? Like 20.5?
It's 20, yeah.
Poor Trevor.
I know. I'd stay at Clemson if I was him. But I guess if I had a bunch of money to blow on bets, I would actually probably just throw a little bit of money on the Jets this week, because you throw $100 down and the Jets happen to win, you win $1,225 as of this morning.
It's because they're not going to.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's a good way to lose your money, but
poor Trevor. He's just gonna be another Tannehill. Hopefully, just hope the guy can last long enough, like Darnold, just last long enough without getting injured that he can go somewhere else like Tannehill and get a chance.
Yeah, I would stay at Cleveland or Clemson.
Yeah, probably a good idea. What do you think, Hefe?
Yeah, I think that this is going to be. I don't even think the Jets are going to cover. That's how bad I think this is going to be. And if like Zach said, if I were Trevor Lawrence, no shot. I'm coming out this year. Make them keep Sam Darnold or whatever they want to do. But I'm definitely staying. If you're rolling off national championships in college, screw it, dude. Stay there. Somebody's going to draft you number one.
Yeah. So this reminds me of when Elway came out. And I think this happened with Eli too.
Yeah, he didn't want to go to the Chargers.
Yeah, and Elway didn't want to come to Indianapolis, and said he would go play pro baseball, and force the teams to trade. So, I can't. I don't know how he could either. I wouldn't. As a quarterback, there are other positions where you're going to get your first round contract. You're going to play a few years. Hopefully you do well. You're going to go somewhere else. As a quarterback, this is your life, man. He'll just get killed. So let's not beat a dead horse. But we're all three taking the Chiefs. Everybody is, except for 1.16% of fans on ESPN that happen to be those delusional Jets fans I keep talking about.
Yeah, the Jets are getting less and less percentage every week.
It is less and less. But against the Chiefs, I had to go look. I thought, my gosh, there's got to be nobody. No, I was wrong. I was wrong. There's probably somebody that's just getting killed in their league, and they just got to pick crazy picks to try to come back or something. I don't know.
It sounds like you guys, huh?
All right, moving on. I'd like to give a big shout out to my niece, Courtney.
Oh, here we go.
Well, you started it, pal. Zach, you want to tell everybody what we're giving a big shout out to Courtney for?
Because she beat me in fantasy last week.
She did beat you in fantasy and let everybody on social media know it.
Yep, blew it all over Facebook for the whole world to see.
Yeah, congratulations, Courtney.
Loser.
Hey, like I told her, she may have won the battle, but I'm going to win this war.
Oh, okay. All right. I can't get in the middle of that, but just wanted to congratulate her. All right. So next up, Rams at Dolphins. Damn it. I want to pick the Dolphins at home. Logically, I can't, but damn, I want to. The big news here is, obviously, I hope I'm not stealing somebody's thunder, is that Fitzmagic has been benched, and I'm not an NFL coach, but I'm not sure that there's good timing on this. We can talk about that in depth if you want to, but I'm reluctantly taking the Rams, especially after that big Monday night win against the Bears and that nasty defense. But still,
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way you do. I mean, if Fitzmagic was starting, I honestly would pick the Dolphins to win this game. But Flores made that move to Tua, and I just highly disagree with that move with the way this team has been playing, and they're getting better every single week. But Tua's unproven. He's a rookie. There's no telling how well he's going to perform, especially against a good Rams defense and a Rams team that's a playoff caliber type of team. So the Rams are 4.5-point favorites. I think they're going to win and cover.
So I'm not in the same line of thinking on this game. See, I think the Rams record is what it is because they've played the NFC East. Like it's every other week they have a really good game on both sides of the ball. Every other week they look like crap on both sides of the ball. The only reason they're 5-2, like I said, they played the NFC East. One week they played bad. They happened to play the Giants and they won that game, 10-9 or something like that. And so this is going to be a week where I think they come out more flat for whatever reason. They have to travel all the way from LA to Miami. And Tua's had a little extra time to prepare through a bye week. I don't think it was the right time either. I would have left Fitzpatrick in there. He was playing amazing this year. But for what they're doing, their defense is playing well too there in Miami. They have a lot of veteran guys. It's not a super young defense. So I think their defense will be able to subdue what the Rams are trying to do on offense. And I think the offense will be able to do just enough to get a win in this one.
All right, so Zach and I are going with the Rams. Jeff's going to go with the Dolphins. I want to talk about this Tua Fitzpatrick decision here for a second. I can't. There's a couple things I want to bring up. The first one is there's an old coaching rule that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I can't. I have just been racking my brain. I have been behind Flores from day one. And we talk about that all the time. I love what he's doing here. Last year, when everybody was dogging the Dolphins, I just kept saying they are the best. They are the best of the worst. That their record last year in no way reflected the direction they were headed. We've seen that this year. Man, Fitzpatrick is balling out. I don't know, man. I don't know. So I started thinking about, okay, so is it they're not worried about playoffs this year? And I looked, and right now they're in the 8th spot. They're taking 7, and they're in the 8th spot. In front of them are the Colts, which could collapse at any moment. The Browns, which could collapse at any moment. The Bills, which could collapse at any moment. The Titans, which could collapse at any moment. We still have those teams are still struggling for their identity and have been up and down, and they could go either direction. Any of those teams could get hot, or any of them could all of a sudden take a nosedive. And it wouldn't take much of a nosedive for the Dolphins to suddenly be in the hunt of these things and make the playoffs. So I don't know that that's logical that they're giving up that early on it, unless they're thinking the next draft pick, because they're already, thanks to the Texans, they're already going to clean house, taking their early first and second round picks. Maybe they're wanting a better pick. Then I started to wonder, is it ticket sales? When Tua came in, he got a standing ovation. I mean, there's no doubt that Dolphins fans want to see this kid in the game. They loved it. And 2020 is the year of struggling ticket sales. I don't know how it's been. I know that in Miami they said they would only sell, I think, 13,000. I don't know how hard it's been to sell that. People are still leery about going out into public, and I don't know what the ticket sales have been. I wondered, is this ticket sales? Is this merchandise? Name the kid the starter. People, I wanted to buy a Fitzpatrick jersey, but I knew he wasn't going to be around long. I wanted to buy a Tua jersey, but I wasn't sure if he's going to last. The kid could just be a bust. So are they going to make him the starter and boost merchandise sales? I don't really know. But what I do know is that he's playing Russian roulette with this. He's playing roulette, and he's going to choose whether he's going to bet everything he has on red or black. and he's either gonna win big and party all night in Vegas, or he's gonna lose his ass. And I'm really worried about splitting the locker room. I'm worried about damage done to morale, long-term morale. Fitzpatrick is the type of guy. He is the consummate teammate. He's always happy. He's always joking. He's always lighthearted. He supports Tua. He supports Flores. He supports the program. Everybody loves him. And he was like, I've never seen him with this. He didn't say a whole lot, but he didn't have to. He wasn't the regular Fitzpatrick. This rocked him pretty hard. It came out of left field, out of nowhere, and surprised him. And if he had that kind of reaction, I can't imagine what the guy supporting him in the locker room is. I just hope that this ends up not biting Flores in the ass.
Yeah, honestly, I think this is an upper management decision. I don't think it was just strictly Flores. I think Flores probably wanted to stick with Fitzmagic. But for the economics, like you said, I think this was an upper management decision to get Tua in there, especially because they are on the borderline of making the playoffs. If Tua comes in, plays well, if they do make the playoffs, Tua is a savior. And all the economics you talked about just continue to increase. So I think this was an upper management decision, not so much a coaching decision.
Well, I've heard over the last week and a half or so, I've heard a lot about Brian Flores and how, like, he's known in the NFL. People know that he likes to be unpredictable. He likes to do random stuff and stay unpredictable. So there's been a lot of talk, obviously about maybe upper management doing this kind of thing, but also a lot of talk about Brian Flores just trying to shake things up. He likes to keep things new and keep things fresh. So I haven't really known which way to believe. I could believe it's for ticket sales, especially in a year where fans aren't at the stadium. You could want to increase revenue, whatever. But I could also see Brian Flores and just wanting to be unpredictable and wanting to test out the rookie.
Yeah, and I can respect that, but I can only respect it to a certain point, because there's something I used to talk about all the time when I coached, that it's easy when you're an intelligent coach. It's very easy to outsmart yourself, and this could be a case of doing just that. And I hope I'm wrong. I support the guy. I'd love seeing him do well. I'd like the Dolphins. I'd like Tampa to do well and the Dolphins to do well. We're down here, so I hope this pays off for him. Hefe, I want to pose a question for you.
All
right. I've supported the move to bring Rivers in. All right. And when your defense is struggling, your offense can struggle. All right. But I don't see, I'm starting to move on the side that I'm not sure that Rivers needs to come back for another year, that this may be, that the Colts may need to move somewhere. What about Fitzpatrick?
No, I'm A-okay on that. I like Jacob Eason. I feel like people don't really take him into account because we have Jacoby and we have Phillip Rivers this year. But, I mean, I think we need to trade Jacoby to a team that might actually need a quarterback like Washington, and then we just use Jacob Eason. I think he has all the physical tools from a passing standpoint, and not as mobile as Justin Herbert, but he's a lot like Justin Herbert to me. Ideal body types for a quarterback, strong arm. They can throw the ball downfield. They're accurate and somewhat mobile for a big guy. So, I don't want anybody to come in unless it's, there are a couple big names like Cam Newton. I'd be open to Cam Newton coming in, and a couple other guys. But if it's not, a surefire, I can win games kind of guy, then I just want Jacob Eason.
All right, fair enough. What do you think, Zach?
I'm actually going to have to disagree. I think this Colts team is built to win now. This defense is one of the best defenses we have. We do have the weapons if we could stay healthy. So I think we need a veteran leader. If it's not Phillip Rivers or Fitzpatrick, it's somebody else who has the experience. Eason should be good. I wouldn't throw him to the dogs right now. I don't think he can handle this team right now. I think it's going to take him a couple years to develop, especially mentally, because I know there were question marks with his maturity coming in. So I think they should definitely stick with a veteran quarterback who has the experience, who can manage the clock, protect the ball, lead the team. We don't need some fresh kid to come in here, start slinging it all over the place, trying to make a name for himself. We need somebody to come in, run this offense, let our defense do their thing, win games, win a Super Bowl.
So that's my concern, and I think in the maturity of Easton was a good point to bring up, and I think by bringing guys like Rivers in and bringing guys like Fitzpatrick in, I don't know that I can agree on the Cam Newton thing. I think Newton's done, but that's just a personal opinion of mine. But I think by bringing guys in like Fitzpatrick, Cam Newton, Rivers, and letting Easton study under that with a guy like Frank Reich, who obviously played under Jim Kelly, and we've been through all that, that gives us a chance. I mean, it really molds the guy because he's immersed in a very positive quarterback culture with a lot of wisdom. And I think giving him that opportunity is the best bet. Now, I mean, none of us have been in the locker room. None of us have met Eason. This is just our opinion based on our knowledge of sports. And I will give that up freely. So, but I don't know. I'd buy a Magic jersey. If he went to Colts, I'd buy a Colts jersey. I almost did the Dolphins anyway. So I don't know. I just wanted to pose. I started thinking about it, and I thought, somebody. I don't know if Fitzpatrick's going to hang it up, or if he's going to go to. He's been to 17 teams,
something crazy like that.
Yeah. So maybe he's in for another round. I don't know. Anyway, all right. So let's move on. Steelers at the Ravens. Woo! We got us another humdinger right here, boys. What's the spread on this, Zach?
It is Baltimore by 3.5.
Baltimore by 3.5. Well, this is first place in the North right here, boys. This is where we start trying to separate things. This is in Baltimore. Baltimore is certainly capable of winning this game. I mean, obviously, because they're favored. But in my opinion, right now, with what we've seen so far, you'd be out of your goddamn mind to pick against the Steelers.
Yeah, this is definitely the game of the week. You got the undefeated 6-0 Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the 5-1 Baltimore Ravens. And like you said, winner takes control of the AFC North. This game's a toss-up for me. Honestly, it can go either way. Like I said, the Ravens are 3.5-point favorites. So if I was placing a bet, I would put my money on the Steelers being the underdog. It's a higher payout with even odds, in my opinion. Their defense is ferocious. We saw that last week, just completely throwing their bodies out in front of Derrick Henry, stopping him in his tracks. And as long as Big Ben doesn't throw 3 second-half interceptions, I think they can, and I think they will win this game.
This is really, like you said, game of the week. This is toss-up of the week. I just don't know really which way to go. Both these teams have outstanding defenses, and I know the Steelers defense, I like the Steelers defense more. I think they're more effective. They're playing out of their minds, even though the Ravens defense is really good. But I like the Ravens offense more than I like the Steelers offense. I think the Steelers have just played a lot of bad defenses this year. And I mean, against the Titans, we saw the second half of that game when Mike Vrabel got his defense to start locking down and Big Ben threw 3 interceptions. And so I think the Ravens are going to be able to do enough on offense. They're coming off a bye week. They got to get that run game right. And they're the best run team last year. I got to assume that they're going to be able to figure it out. And it'll be a tough challenge against this Steelers defense, but I like the Ravens in this game.
All right. So Zach and I are taking the Steelers. FA's taking the Ravens. Is that right?
Yeah, and I might change my mind like 12 times up until this game, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's what I did last week. I got on and change it back. I think it was the Buccaneers game. Yeah, it was the Raiders and the Buccaneers. All right. Next up, Chargers at the Broncos. I've given a lot of thought about what Garrett Bowles said, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that his Broncos defense. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't give Garrett Bowles a second thought after that dumbass remark. It has nothing to do with his ridiculous comments and his delusional fantasies about how good the Broncos are this year. I did wonder if Garrett Bowles grew up in New York as a Jets fan. He, one of those delusional Jet fans, the 1.6%. He's probably one of those people that picked the Jets this weekend over the Chiefs because he doesn't think the Chiefs are that good. But anyway, I digress. I don't know where to go with this one. I like the Broncos defense. The Broncos are home. And Hair Bear is. Did I see somebody talking about Rookie of the Year for this kid?
I believe that is accurate.
This is a coin toss to me. I honestly don't know where to go.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of worried here as well. The Chargers are favored by 3.5. I'm going to pick them, but I really wouldn't be surprised if Denver wins this. It's a divisional game after all, and it's Herbert's first game in Mile High, so we'll see how he plays up there with no oxygen.
Yeah, this one I think is going to be a perfect game for the Chargers defense in terms of, Melvin Gordon hasn't hasn't really gotten it going this year, but Drew Lock over the last couple games since he came back from that shoulder injury, I don't know if it's because of the shoulder or not, but he's been throwing a lot of interceptions. And the Chargers, they've been lacking in the run game. I think Melvin Ingram got hurt again. The Chargers secondary though is really strong, and I think they'll be able to get a couple interceptions in this game, give Herbert and that offense some short fields, maybe even a pick six, and I think the Chargers are able to win this one.
All right. So Zach, did you say that you took the Chargers?
Yeah, I got the Chargers.
Yeah. I'm still so both of you were taking the Chargers. I want to take the Chargers. I just can't yet. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I need some more time to think about this, and you two need to stop pressuring me on that. All right, Saints at Bears. This, my friends, is another dangerous game. The Bears have surprised us all season, literally every week for Zach, except last week.
Finally got it right.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We may be separating the chaff from the wheat here. You two don't even know what that means, do you? When I was your age, we used to have to separate the chaff from the wheat out in the fields. Anyway, the Saints probably need to win this to keep not only their dreams of the NFC South, winning the NFC South, but they are already in great danger of missing the playoffs in the NFC. There are a lot. It's funny because I think the best teams in the league are in the AFC, but there's a whole lot of good teams in the NFC. We still have a long way to go, but the Bucs right now are out of control. They're playing out of their minds, and I have a feeling that may only get better. They may only get better. It may only get worse. So the Saints are going to have to rely on getting in on the record alone. Right now, if the season ended today, they are tied for 8th out of 7 spots. Today, if the season ended today, the Saints would not be in the playoffs, and that's crazy to think about. So I want to run down this real quick. All right. So the Packers have the number 1 spot at 5-1, and the Seahawks are at 5-1 as well, and the Buccaneers are 5-2. Rightfully, I know I've left one out, but I've done it on purpose. Rightfully, because they're going to take their division. The Philadelphia Eagles get the 4th spot of the 4th conference leader at 2-4-1 because they're in there with a bunch of jackasses who don't know what they're doing, apparently. 5th, so those are the top 4. 5th spot is Chicago Bears, right? So we just told you the Saints aren't in, and they're in the 8th spot, tied for 8th, and the Chicago Bears are in the 5th spot at 5-2. The Cardinals are 5-2. The Rams are 5-2. There's your 7 spots. The Saints are at 4-2, and the 49ers are at 4-3. Obviously, the 49ers have had one more game, so I'm just kind of calling that even until we all play the same amount of games. With the Panthers and the Lions, Panthers 3-4, and the Lions 3-3 at the 10th, 11th spots, kind of out of contention at this point. So, a win over the Bears would go a long way to making sure you're still playing in January. I don't know, man. I don't know who to pick.
Well, I'm going to do my best Morpheus impression here. It's not going to be very good. What if I told you the Saints have a better defense when it comes to passing yards, and rushing touchdowns? Would you believe me?
Than the Bears?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Didn't see that one coming. I was looking it up earlier. They have a better defense in passing yards, and rushing touchdowns.
All right. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And I definitely think they have a better offense as well, especially if Michael Thomas returns. So I have the Saints winning and covering the 4-point spread.
Yeah, the Bears are obviously, the worst 5-win team in the league right now. Their defense is carrying them. And 1 week you get bad Nick Foles, 1 week you get good Nick Foles. This past week we got terrible Nick Foles. It was just awful. He missed so many throws in that game against the Rams. And I keep saying it, but I really think that Marcus Davenport coming back in the lineup and Marshawn Lattimore coming to cover the number ones has made a huge difference for the Saints over the last couple of weeks. And I don't think this game's going to be any difference. The Bears offense just isn't good enough to put up points. So got to go with the Saints here.
All right. So would it sway either of you if I told you that the high is 39 degrees on Sunday in Soldier Field?
No.
Nah.
I mean, that would affect me. I would retire. I wouldn't go. I'd be like, I got a positive COVID diagnosis. I'll see you next week. Just kidding. Logically, I'd like to pick the Saints, but they burned me earlier this season, and the Bears have just surprised me all season. And it's in Soldier Field. I don't know. I'll let you know on this. Don't pressure me on this one either, and don't call me. I'll text you.
Are you just not gonna say who your picks are anymore?
Hey, you would like me to, wouldn't you, pal? Do you call Courtney and ask her who she's going to start?
Hey, I might. That's why I'm winning the league.
So I'll give you a hint. It'll probably be the Saints, but I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. So, okay. Next up, 49ers at Seahawks. This game also has potentially big playoff implications, but for slightly different reasons. It appears that all 4 NFC West teams are arguably potentially playoffs teams. Unfortunately, some trash-ass NFC East team is going to screw that whole thing up. I would be pissed. Dude, if I won 9 or 10 games and some clown-ass team that won 4 games got in the playoffs, I would be pissed. So check this out. So the NFC East has the distinction of being the only division in the NFL where all 4 teams have won a Super Bowl title. But it's also set to reach a level of futility no other division winner in league history has staked claim to. I'm reading this. It was too good not to share. The NFC East is making a case to have the worst division champion in NFL history. With the eventual champ potentially owning just 3 to 6 wins at the conclusion of the 2020 season. So if Dallas continues their 2-5 pace and maintain the division lead, which they no longer have now, that's the Eagles, but they're 2-4-1. So insert team here, really, with any of the 4 teams, to be quite honest. If the Cowboys or the Eagles or the
Washington football team.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm getting old. It's amazing that I can remember that we used to have to separate the chaff from the wheat in the fields, but back when I was a whippersnapper, but I can't remember the other team in the NFC East that I talk about twice a week. Any of those 3 teams, and even the 4th team, I mean, with the Giants being with just 1 win, they maintain the direction they're on. They'll be lucky to win 6 games, which would be the lowest amount of victories for a division winner in NFL history. I would imagine 7 is probably the lowest we've gone, and that was, 2008 or something?
There's been 2 of them. I think the last one was, somewhere around there.
And Dallas still plays Philadelphia twice. I think they play the Giants once. So obviously Eagles are playing Dallas twice. And I think the NFC East, I think most of their games are backloaded on the back part of the season. Prescott's out. Dalton's out for this week with a concussion due to that bullshit cowardly shot from John Bostic. And, and here's another thing I want to point out. Just how bad is the Cowboys defense right now? Well, they allowed the most points through 6 games since the merger in 1970. Which, the Eagles may have the best chance to make the division somewhat relevant. They've got the Giants with 2 games against the Giants, but they won 1 of them already. And if they can pull out those victories, it may put them close to 500. And they got that tie that will give them the push. I don't know, what a freaking mess. Anyway, unfortunately, all 4 of the NFC teams will spend the NFC West teams are going to spend the second half of the season just beating the hell out of each other. So some clown ass team from the NFC East can slide in ahead of them and they can miss the playoffs. And it's a tragedy. If this crap with the NFC East happens, if it ends up happening this way and looking like it's going to look at, meaning that one of them gets in the playoffs with 4 to 6 wins, and 2 to 3 of the NFC West teams don't make it in. Especially with like 9 wins, I would look for a rule change in the offseason. That would have to be addressed. I don't know what it looks like, but anyway, I'm going to go with the Seahawks because they're at home, and they've been the most consistent. But I won't be surprised if the Niners win this game.
Well, the Seahawks have no rushing game right now. Every single one of their running backs is banged up. They will have to throw the ball a lot against a very good 49ers defense. On the other side, Kyle Shanahan is an offensive genius, and he should be able to exploit this awful Seattle pass defense. Seattle's favored by 3, but I think it's the Niners that are going to come out on top here.
Yeah, it really just depends which Niners team we've seen. They've been up and down. Obviously, they have a lot of injuries, so that plays a part in it. And we're still not too entirely sure who they're going to have at running back. We know Jerick McKinnon's going to be there and some guy named JaMychal Hasty. Talking about maybe designating Tevin Coleman to come off the IR, but he probably wouldn't play a whole lot. And now Deebo Samuel's out. So, you're already weak at receiver anyways, and then Deebo goes out. So I think it's going to be tough for them to get things going the way they want to on offense. And like Zach said, Kyle Shanahan will probably figure it out at some point, but Russell Wilson's MVP of the league right now and is going to have another MVP like day, bouncing back from that 3-interception game he just had. And I expect the Seahawks to win this one.
All right. Here's the separation, Hefe. Damn it, Zach. Now I have to root for Pete Carroll.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, my gosh. I see what you did there. Yeah. I'm losing even when I'm winning. All right. Cowboys at Eagles. What the ever.
Boring.
Dalton is out, unfortunately. Bostic apparently isn't going to be suspended, which I really need somebody to sit down and explain that to me because I cannot logically wrap my head around that. And slowly, because obviously I'm not smart enough to understand why a cheap-ass shot that knocks a guy out could have ended his career isn't worth a suspension. And some of the garbage they fine these guys for, and they don't suspend a dirty hit like that, I don't get it. And Rivera has started to win me over this year, and I'm disappointed that so far he hasn't manned up and done something about it. I'll lose respect for him for that. Not that he cares. I get that. He doesn't even know who I am. But more importantly, this is the kind of stuff that leads to lack of discipline in the locker room. You allow something like this to go on, it could manifest into something. And I don't know what he said in the locker room. I don't know how he's addressed it. He may have shamed him in front of everybody, addressed it. But, I mean, if this is just, okay, yeah, we say in public, oh, we don't do this, but then we don't say anything, people will take advantage of situations, and that's what leadership's about. I hope that if he doesn't enforce it now, that it won't haunt him later. End of rant. Sorry. I don't know. I got to go with the Eagles, to be honest.
Yeah, they're 7.5-point favorites. I don't think this Dallas team's going to get anything done offensively. The Eagles should win this. They'll move on to 3-4-1 and remain atop the NFC East.
Yeah. So I'm same line of thinking. This isn't even going to be a contest. Cowboys have scored 3 points each of the last 2 games. That's probably what they're going to do here. They're going to get rolled on. Okay, so we're all taking the Eagles. All right. Next up, we got the Bucs at the Giants. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Bucs. Back to you, Zach.
Oh, yeah. Well, this one should be ugly. Tampa Bay is favored by 11. They'll easily cover that and move on to 6-2.
Yeah, I'm predicting the score of this game to be 34-6 Buccaneers. This shouldn't even be close. Not even close. All right. So we're all three taking the Bucs in case anybody out there wasn't really paying attention. All right. That does it for this week. We want to remind you to please be sure to show us some love and like, share, and subscribe. We need all the help we can get. Please tell all your friends and help us get the word out. We certainly would appreciate it. And if you wouldn't mind, it would help us reach 1,000 YouTube subscribers. And if you help us, you'll have a chance at winning an authentic NFL jersey from the NFL shop on us when we reach 1,000 subscribers. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, head on over to YouTube and help us out. And just a reminder, it's not too late to go head to head against us in the weekly Pick'em battle. Hop on our Facebook. And I know we're halfway through the season, but we still talk about each week, who won each week, and
we'll have winners come in and we'll mention them on air and have them come in. So you can certainly still join in. We'd love to have you. Hop on our Facebook, Twitter page at Horsemen Sports, where you can find the link to join for free. Did I mention it was free? It's free. So for all you fantasy fanatics, if you haven't already, be sure to check out the latest episode of Fantasy Central, released just last night, hot off the presses, where the Oracle,
that's me,
and the Guru,
that would be me,
cover the top waiver wire picks, must starts, and players to avoid this coming week. And of course, we will all see you back here again on Tuesday, where we will review the games from this weekend. And until then, thanks for joining us and enjoy the games.